Welcome back to the channel. We got Leftists Absolutely Hate Caleb Hammer by Sydney Watson. Now, as a major fan of Caleb Hammer, I have seen just about every video that he's done for public viewing and many of his members' contents. In fact, if you can see that there, Caleb Hammer, I am in the top 0.2% of viewers where I've watched over 591 videos of his this year. Freaking fantastic channel. If you haven't heard of it or seen it, definitely, what are you doing here? Go over there. Go discover why leftists potentially hate him. And it's because he likes people to take responsibility for themselves. Oh no! What a tragedy. Anyways, don't forget to smash that like button and get subscribed if you're new around here, and we'll get right into things.
Whenever I first saw the financial audit channel, I made a video about him and how I thought that his content was like a proponent of the alt-right pipeline.
Do we ever get to have a break from just objective silliness?
Yeah, but that singular sentence though. How could you think Caleb's channel is the alt-right pipeline? He's had more, I would say, more liberal and progressive-leaning individuals on the channel than anything else. And the only thing he really will tell them is, hey, you're spending more than you make. Hey, you need to be saving money. Hey, your retirement account, you think that money will just appear in there at some point? No, you have to put it in and let it build over decades. You're way behind. Oh, you think your financial audit score is a 5 out of 10? No, you're about a 1.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. Just a quick note, everybody, before we do the video, we are rapidly approaching Christmas, so please make sure that you place your order while we talk about the stupid people. So, for a multitude
from people who have tried her tea is very good. I haven't tried it, but then again, I'm not a tea drinker, so I'd have literally nothing to compare it to. So, there's me on it. Anyways.
Reasons, I am perpetually fascinated when classical liberals or centrists are referred to as right-wing simply because they're not foaming, lunatic, insane people. Sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings, but so many of you are getting gulagged along with us righties when the left gets back into power. I guess unless all of us say 15 prayers to the trans god and then cut off our food. Anyway, speaking of centrists and classic liberals, fun fact, but I have been a casual viewer now for some time of the one and only Caleb Hammer because I find his delivery quite enjoyable, and I get
his delivery is fucking phenomenal on things, and I really wish at times they would just get recordings of that heart rate monitor, have it be recording the whole time, and just see what levels he's at when he's actually yelling to see how much he's actually hemming it up for the camera. I'd be curious. Because I bet you there are times he genuinely is getting mad at someone. And other times he's like, yeah, I'm mad at you. I'm also going to play it up extra for the camera.
I get a perverse sense of satisfaction knowing I'm not quite as bad with money as I think I am. I bought
that's the other great one
of sandwich meat this one time from a fancy deli. Don't ask me why.
That's insane!
If you're not familiar...
That's the other thing. The ability to take some of Caleb's sound bites and turn them into little clips, soundboard clips you can use is amazing. His delivery and how they, hem up the editing a little.
With Caleb Hammer, he is a very well-known and popular YouTuber/podcaster who runs the show Financial Audit. It basically brings on people who are objectively horrible with money.
Correction, 99% of the time it's people who are horrible with money. Because he did bring on Twitch streamer Amaranth, who, going over her finance just makes you feel poor. It makes you feel like you failed at life, because she's basically my age. She's like right around it, I think a year, within a year up or down of me. And it's like, oh yeah, she's made almost $70 million. Good God, men, you need to stop paying for porn. Seriously. She would probably be only at like a tenth of that if it was just Twitch.
goes over their finances, and dispenses some pretty normal financial advice. Like, don't buy $70 worth of sandwich meat from a fancy deli.
What have you not f***ed up in life? Have you ever done something successfully?
Most of the people featured on the show are very entitled. They also spend insanely.
Those glasses were for the video. He wanted to do a first-person view on that one, so if you're wondering why it looks a little weird, they're not like prescription. They're just glasses with the camera in them. They're the Meta Ray-Ban ones.
And they say crazy things and they do crazy things. And
Oh, the
spend
Mulan
most
makeup
of the show
girl.
calling this behavior out, suggesting better ways of doing things.
I would like help building some kind of a resume.
This girl had her dating standards. You'll never guess what they are. You'll never figure it out. I actually said she wanted a guy over 6 foot, making over $100,000 a year, and I was like, "What else are we missing?"
Cool. Astrology's not going to get you there. Resume?
Yeah.
You're just getting fired and leaving everything. What resume can I get you?
I don't know. That's just my goal. It's one of my goals. Okay, I need to make a better resume for myself to
Can
try
I see
to.
your resume?
I don't have it.
Was going to do a plant medicine retreat and paid for it and couldn't go because it wouldn't work out with her medication. This was back in March and April, paid $500 and didn't go.
Yeah.
What is your life?
Oh my. This girl, she grew up extremely privileged. She came from a wealthy background, and she actually during the show was like, "Yeah, I wish I didn't come from money." And I'm like, "Girl, then stop receiving money from your dad and mom. Tell them, hey, I don't want you to give me money anymore. You need to not do this. If I ask, don't do it." Like, how hard is that sentence to come out? It's like, I don't want you to be helping me. If I ask for help, tell me no, you'll figure it out. Or no, you don't need to buy that thing. Or literally ask her what she's literally spending those dollars on. And then maybe if you're the parent, go spend that money in that spot so she can't make the choice to, well, I said it was going to go here, but now it's going to go over there. Because I have a feeling she did that a lot. And I think she did. It's been a long time since her episode. I'd actually like to see a follow-up with her. See if she took anything to heart and improved.
What is your life? Is this even a financial audit?
Yeah, she at first didn't think she grew up wealthy when her dad had 2 houses.
Yeah.
I think this is like...
I really did want to go to that though, but then like I obviously didn't do my research and it does interact with one of my meds, so I was like, no. Well, I wanted to go there and see if I could do if I could get some kind of thing out of it, if I'm able to like process my trauma.
And all of this, my darling baby birds, apparently makes Caleb right-wing. And not only right-wing, but Caleb is apparently one of the most socially corrosive figures in America right now.
How? How? Because he tells you need to take responsibility for your own actions? Because when you go into massive amounts of debt, that you should probably pay it off, increase your net worth, and improve your life? That's all bad things all of a sudden? Is that right wing? So being successful is now right wing. Okay. I'm happy I'm aware of that. I really want to be right wing then.
And a groomer, because he shows his audience low-impulse capitalism victims and teaches everyone that the aforementioned victims deserve less.
No.
Indeed.
Not at all.
He is merely asking that they don't buy $1,000 worth of mayonnaise and scratchies. What do Americans actually call those? We call them scratchies in Australia. I feel like you guys maybe are a little bit more simple. Maybe like...
If someone said, "Can I get scratchies?" I would think they're looking for lottery tickets.
Scratch cards. Scratch
yeah, okay.
Scratch
So yeah,
lotto ticket. What
similar.
What are these named? Whatever. On the day that I am editing this, Caleb himself
Depends
tweeted in
on where you're
response to
from.
someone calling him an alt-right grifter, writing, "Objectively incorrect. Right now the far left is just insane, and I call out any and all insane people. If it was 2011 right now, I'd be doing the same thing to the Tea Party people burning Obama figurines and freaking out about a tan suit. I don't know what that's in reference to, unfortunately. And I find this fascinating because Caleb Hammer has said repeatedly that he doesn't really lean in one direction or the other, and part of the reason he keeps going after the left right now, or it seems that way, is because they are objectively insane at present, which I don't think is such a good thing. It makes me wonder if these people are so crazy because they just fundamentally aren't getting enough sleep, which is a shame, and none of you want to be like that, which is why today's video is sponsored by Beam, the yummiest frickin' sleep hot chocolate you've ever had. It's late as heck, which means that it's time to get ready, also because it's the sale of the year. During one episode from
Got
around
distracted
March,
looking for something.
I think 2025, Caleb even said that he changes his mind as he comes into contact with new information.
Yeah, he's a normal individual who, if all of a sudden something he believes is challenged by something else, and that thing actually has evidence, and he's like, "Oh, actually, I'm gonna adjust my thinking. I'm gonna adjust. I never had that consideration," which is how normal people act.
This caused his trans guest to call him a hypocrite. Because he changes his mind? God, there is no saving these people.
These two are individuals who are like, "I want to leave the U.S. I want to leave because Trump," and they were like trying to go places, but they didn't actually. It doesn't seem like they actually looked up the information to actually go to these places legally and how to get there and migrate the legal way. It's so strange.
With what is true, and I will always change my opinion if there is new information. So I am everywhere. No one knows my politics. I'm a fucking ambiguous. I mean, I see a lot
You're
of.
a hypocrite.
No,
Oh yeah. You say
That
one
is-
thing and then you change your mind the next week.
that's
I will
not being a
always be willing to
hypocrite.
change my mind if new information comes out, or if I learn new things.
No,
You're
new
not
inf-
willing to change your opinion
New
if new
information
information
comes out all the time.
Yeah, and most of the time, that new information validates the opinions or challenges it, but doesn't bring evidence. So you can just ignore, I'd say, like 90% of it, of quote unquote information out there. The other 10% that actually is there, it's like, oh, yeah, that actually has facts. That actually has things behind it. And it can go either direction.
And it's okay to change your opinion. Or
And
not
then the
12.
next week more information comes out and
And it's okay to change your opinion, yes, because you want to be correct, but you're not correct by just sitting there and being like, "I'm correct." You're correct.
Exactly.
The data, facts,
Precisely.
whatever is in your side. What the f are you talking about? Either way, all I'm saying is what I was trying to say is that no one can place me. People have tried to place me, but they're never correct. However, based on this conversation.
Yeah, Caleb is very, very middle of the pack. He said it all the time. He is very central on every issue. Like, there's some things that send him left. There's some things that send him right. There's some things that send him libertarian. And there are a few things he's like, yeah, that would be nice to go a little more harder on crime. There would be things that would be nicer to go this way. It's a whole bunch of stuff where it's like you can be pulled in every direction and just not put yourself in a category. I think we should do away with the whole two-party system, and there should just be candidates that run rather than a party that's running and pushing, here's your person and here's your other person. Now this person wants this, that person wants the opposite. So let's fight it out. Like we've been doing for the past, I'd say at least 30 years, minimum.
Talking to you two, I probably sound like the most conservative person that has ever existed in the history of this world because you guys are so far gone.
But he has said
They
all
were.
this before,
They were
and
so
he's
gone.
made it very clear that he's all about financial advice and financial thoughts
Literacy.
and opinions and not going on ideological crusades. The dude is just telling people to spend less than they make, not buy stupid crap, and be thoughtful
Exactly.
about their finances. This is advice that not too long ago would have just been considered pretty normal. But
Yep.
as I have learned making this video, his extreme left-wing detractors don't care about any of that. And
Yeah, if people want to see the right-wing version of Caleb Hammer, just look closer towards Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is uber Christian. His whole prophecy with money is based on biblical values. That is far more on the right-wing side of things than anything else, and Dave Ramsey doesn't get called a right-winger, conservative grifter, like hardly at all. And he even interviewed Trump.
Because their ideological center of gravity has shifted. What was once considered moderate is now branded far right because the Overton window has fallen into the sea, and I don't think it can swim.
Whenever I first saw the financial audit channel, I made a video about him and how I thought that his content was like a proponent of the alt-right pipeline. And it was specifically because
I have no idea how she got that.
His guests, like in the thumbnail and in the title, it was so strange.
Oh no! He made incredible thumbnails and titles to get you to click on the video. Oh no, it worked!
A video of his, and he had like a trans mask guest on the show, and like in the thumbnail, he like edited or like highlighted his chest area, like in the thumbnail.
Yeah,
and, like, the title
you got your attention.
Crazy transgender person or whatever, and like he had color in his hair, and he made the color like really bright on the thumbnail. Like it was so strange.
I know we aren't talking about dating here, but is
And this person obviously is a little... I'm going to leave that there and let you choose what word you would put there after a little. Because if you take that, what she was going with...
Right on the thumbnail. Like it was so strange.
With the thumbnails and talking all that, my train of thought died. So I needed her to back up for a sec. But yeah, thumbnails. She obviously didn't grow up in the earlier days of YouTube, back when the thumbnail could literally be almost a full naked girl, and yet that naked image would have absolutely nothing to do with the video. This person would not have survived those days of YouTube. Like, for real. She would have complained about every video. Oh, this video had this image on it, but I didn't see it in there.
we aren't talking about dating,
Like, for real?
but is this nose ring theory?
Not attractive.
Why do they always have to have the stretched septum bar and then say the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life?
This nose looks like a pig's nose. You could literally put it side by side and compare, I bet.
This person is basically arguing that because Caleb has mean thumbnails and titles, he's alt-right, which is mad because his thumbnails and titles are mean with relation to all of his guests. He calls all of them names. The dude...
I mean, there's a few of his titles that literally he made because the guest said that thing in the interview. And it's like... That's wild to say, but thanks for the title.
Does not discriminate. Look.
He does not,
yes,
no.
I am currently wearing pajama pants, and it's just because my house is incredibly freaking cold right now because I don't have any heating. Anyway.
It's okay, Sydney. I got a pair just like those, except they're in red.
Whether it is right or wrong, and you're welcome to have your own opinions about this. This is just sort of how YouTube is, and, the more extreme the title, the more extreme the thumbnail, the more clicks it's gonna get. It's just sort of the name of the game, and if you guys don't like that, then you should take that up with the fact that you all love drama so much. I know you do. I see it on my own channel. I make these drama videos, and you kooky little weirdos, you like them. You like watching them.
You're killing me.
I know.
That's insanity.
But this is basically some of the ongoing criticism about this guy, that he goes after women, especially, except, no, he doesn't.
Yeah, if you think he goes after women, you're obviously only watching the clips, because here's how his schedule goes. Every Monday that he posts, because he actually is a nice boss who gives his employees time off, and so he'll have, during holidays times, he'll have a missed upload for certain holidays and whatnot. But on Mondays, he uploads a married couple or a couple that's together. Some kind of relationship that's both parties are there. On Wednesday, he does a single guy. And on Friday, he does a single girl. Or a just by themselves persons in either of those. So it's literally exactly formulaic now to where there's guy-girl, guy-girl, or maybe it's a girl-girl gay couple, guy-guy gay couple. We have a lot fewer of those. Apparently, gay couples of men, they aren't that bad with their finances, and they actually are pretty good with it overall in the general sense. Well, the lesbian lady couples, you guys are fucked financially.
He has absolutely insane, insufferable men on his show as well. But maybe the reason why people think that he's harder on women is because maybe women are just objectively, worse with money. Maybe that's a thing. I'm sure that there are statistics out there that back up that position, but I'm not making that claim. I'm not saying that. So
There was one guest Caleb had on where this lady, it was a lady on, it was a Friday. She was divorced from her husband, she had full custody of the kids, and yet this is one of the things that happened in that divorce. They were married for, it was almost 20 years, so they had some older children and a couple younger ones still. But, well, not super young, but like 10, 12. And they had just divorced or divorced a bit ago, and she had gotten half of his retirement that she basically took out in blue. She was getting monthly child support because she had full custody, and obviously the court sided with her. And she also got the house they were living in. And yeah, so it's like if you're now take his shoes. He lost his house, he lost his kids, he has to pay his wife money, and he lost half of his retirement. Like, that dude now has to work twice as hard to get that retirement built back up, while also at the same time potentially going to find a new wife or new girlfriend to replace something and add some happiness back into his life. And as well as he still has to pay this lady monthly money until his kids grow up, which he's probably not as problematic with that last point, but still, it's just like the cherry on top.
So, of course, one of the primary criticisms that I have seen here about him is that he is misogynistic and an incel because he predominantly targets women. I don't know.
Dude, I've been thinking that those Caleb Hammer videos are just really nasty and gross content to be making this whole time. And it comes as no surprise to me that he would step over the line with somebody that he was working with, because...
Oh, I think this was about one of the employee that complained after he got fired because the employee was just a bad employee. I think that's exactly what it is. But also, I think if you have a problem with the way Caleb Hammer talks to people and does things, I think you've probably got a spending problem as well and should try to apply for the show. Maybe you'll look better on camera or worse than some of the people you think are being berated and complained to.
Frankly, all the videos are over
Prove
the
it.
line. I don't like any
There's
of them.
nothing
I think
over the line.
content itself is pretty vile. Like, there is nothing entertaining to me about sitting there and belittling and shaming a person for their financial position.
I think it is so
Well, also, Caleb doesn't, put out requests and invite people. They voluntarily come on. And they know the process because there's a whole behind-the-scenes area. It's not just, he doesn't walk out to the street and go, "Hey, I'm going to audit your finances. Get the fuck in here." He doesn't do that. That would be not a good show, probably. It would probably not get very many guests to come on. They'd probably feel quite threatened by that. And, yeah, it wouldn't last very long. If these people are volunteering to come on, Caleb literally says, I am going to have the conversation with you that he wishes someone had with him when he was in debt.
ripe and funny that people are just now criticizing Caleb Hammer for being conservative and weird. Were you
He's
just
not
willfully
conservative.
ignorant of his thumbnails and titles till this point? Like, are we going to act like he hasn't been pandering to the worst kind of people for years? Perpetuating
finish.
anti-trans and misogynistic ideas?
I guess I
No, he's not. He doesn't do anti-trans and misogynistic ideas. If he were that, he would only invite, men who identify as men on the show. Or if he was really misogynistic, he would only invite women who identify as women on the show, and he would have, everything screened ahead of time to make sure their finances are so bad that it looks great on camera. But in fact, the best part is Caleb's not even involved in the decision process of who comes on anymore. He sits there and he goes in as blind as we do when we watch the videos. He says that all the time. So much, in fact. And with that, my train of thought's gone. But yeah, you get the idea. I'm yapping a lot, though, because this one made me a little heated.
find all of this a little annoying because it's not as if people don't know what they're signing up for when they decide to go on financial audit. And I think that this is something that Caleb and his team have actually addressed themselves.
What's your relationship with the pushback for taking advantage of poor people? That tends to be a common criticism I see for you.
First of all, I'm not going to have a conversation with someone who has $1 million in their retirement account and they're crying about
You did
how they went to
once.
McDonald's once last month. Like,
But not
that's a
McDonald's.
problem. So no matter what, with the show that
Yeah, I love that when he had Amaranth on. It's like that's the one person that he had that had a lot of freaking money and was so well off that it's like, oh yeah, I own most of the gas stations in my town, is one of the things she said. And I'm like, what? That's an insane fact, but that's cool to know.
we're on, we're going to have people that are just bad with money. And a lot of those people tend to be poor. Now, honestly, some of the most interesting episodes to me, by the way, are people that make over six figures and are even more. So it's not only poor people, but
Yeah, the most crazy episodes are actually the people who are doing well off and are just making the dumbest choices.
it gets so difficult because we've had to balance internally what to do when it comes to the reimbursement part of our process. First, our criticism is we didn't offer anything. So boom, you're taking advantage of poor people.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, we're gonna pay for their time, and it's out.
Yeah, pay for their travel and hotel at minimum, and then, if they take a day off work, maybe the equivalent of their day off work.
Now the criticism then becomes, well, now you're taking advantage of poor people who don't have money to give them money to put their life on display. And it's like, okay.
I mean, I think the bottom line with a lot of this is that you have a person who is demonstrating the various and myriad ways that people skirt responsibility, the way that people take advantage of the systems that are available to them, and the way that a lot of people are defrauding not only the government but taxpayers.
Yeah, also with, there's a lot of that going on, a lot of fraud that's just being given to certain people and whatnot, and we'll get into some of that too. But also it's like these people, they are volunteering to come on, they are getting good advice that if they follow, they will be in a much better position after the fact. He gives them, it's not an exact step-by-step, day-by-day plan, but it's a rough outline that if they take his other, the other stuff he gives them for free, the different membership courses and budgeting app he has, then once they set all that up and go through the courses, they are also much more knowledgeable about how to make and save their money and spend it better.
Get a job, work 40 hours a week, 9 to 5.
I don't want to.
There it is.
Oh, this girl.
Food stamps right.
This girl, she has a kid. She is on food stamps, not working more than I think it was like 20 hours a week because she's got some little problems with her body and can't be doing that much work. Yet she is traveling around the country all the time to do adult cheerleading. Yes, you heard me right.
Now her income is $1,000. She has kids and she spends $300 a month on her competitive cheer.
Yeah.
Guys, she gets how much in food stamps?
321.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We're paying for her cheer.
As taxpayers,
And then some.
paying for her to go to competitive cheer.
This point was actually expressed by friend of the channel, Sean Fitzgerald, also known as Actual Justice Warrior. I will link his channel
I love
in the description
Sean.
box because he's a very lovely human being. We like
Got a
Sean
few
a lot over
reactions
here.
to his stuff on the
A couple
channel.
days
Check
ago,
him
he
out.
tweeted, Caleb Hammer becoming public enemy #1 of the left because his show inadvertently reveals what everyone who knows broke people actually see daily. That they very often make poor choices, have victim complexes, and low impulse control is legitimately hilarious. But what's crazy is that some people on the left are framing asking for accountability as some sort of right-wing psycho dog whistle and misogyny and homophobia, and that's just not what this is. It's maths. Or math, if you're American. We say maths in Australia because, there's multiple of them. I don't know, guys. When basic arithmetic gets politicized, you know the things have gone a little bit too far.
I just know it's going to be so cathartic for me once Caleb Hammer gets taken off of this platform. I've already got him blocked, but when he gets canceled, dude, and it will happen, trust me, it's gonna be so sweet. He is the Dave.
He is uncancelable.
Generation, and he is ruining a generation of men who think they can talk to women about finances in the way that he talks to women about finances.
He literally can call people a cunt right to their face, bleeping it out. I will not be bleeping mine, but he can call people certain things. He can call them retarded to their face. He can say so many things that it's kind of he is actually uncancelable. at this point. Like, I think the only thing he hasn't done is called someone the N-word.
I find this specific video kind of hilarious because during one of his episodes, his female guest basically says that he's not empathetic enough, and his response was basically to say, me trying to help you is the empathy.
People might watch this and see that because I'm abrasive and everything like that, I don't have empathy. Here's the reality. I want you to get out of debt and be able to afford your mortgage so you and your mom don't end up on the street. I would say that is extreme empathy because I don't come at it and crying and baby you and pat you on the back and say, oh, everything you're doing is okay when it objectively is not. Is all of a sudden not empathy? No. I want you to have a better life. I want your mother to have a better life, your grandma to have a better life, and I want you guys to get to a better position.
Okay.
And that is requiring sacrifices, and that actually leads to a reality that is better. And I believe that requires higher empathy.
Actually, this guest called Caleb out during this episode and went after him because one of his staff was working on his birthday.
I mean, I know someone's here working on.
I've worked on my birthday for every single year I've worked except my 21st birthday because I knew I would be very hungover. And I didn't want to go into work hungover as hell that day. Obviously. Appropriately taken off. However, I've worked on my 18th birthday, 19th birthday, 20th, 22nd, 23rd. I think the only one I didn't work was this year's birthday just because of the day it happened to align on was a day off. Just because. I am someone who doesn't personally ever take his birthday off. I don't think it's anything more than just another day, really. If you don't celebrate on the day, you can celebrate on like the Saturday after or the Saturday before. It really doesn't matter. And there is no such thing as birthday week, birthday month. It's birthday. Day.
On their birthday.
Is it someone's birthday today?
You don't even know your own employees.
He's got like 30 people there.
Colton's birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Colton.
birthday.
Congratulations. Adults work on their birthday. I'm going to cry
I mean,
for him.
I work on a nonprofit, and at least they give us our birthdays off.
Well, yeah, because they're babying you.
If he wanted to request it, he could have. That's
I wouldn't have
his
to request it off.
choice. Okay, if they want to treat you like children, they can.
Yeah.
How is it treating like children? It's more
It's
of
a
like
birthday. Who gives a You have one every
it's just
single
called
year.
caring for people. I guess you don't understand that.
Do people actually expect that they don't have to work on their birthday? I'm just
It pulls up to the same thing of if you're driving your car on your birthday, a cop pulls up behind you. Are you allowed to shout out the window, "Hey, it's my birthday! You can't pull me over today." Like, no, you can't walk up, murder someone, and go, "Oh, it's my birthday. It's okay." You can't go steal things and say, "Oh, it's my birthday. It's okay." It being your birthday means absolutely fucking nothing.
just saying. Every day we stray further from sanity, and I'm not okay with it. And I think the bigger point here, of course, is that many hard leftists have made financial responsibility and financial literacy a right-wing thing. Caleb's core message being live within your means, avoid debt
Yeah, he
traps,
just sends
and
that to
overspending
everybody.
should be universal, but
It
routinely
is.
people act like
People
he's
think it's not.
blaming the poor, or the poor are poor because of things outside of their control. Which, of course, is absolutely true in some cases, but I don't think it applies to most of his guests. These are people who are just incredibly bad with money all on their own.
Y'all know Caleb Hammer is a right-wing propagandist, right?
No, he's
Yeah,
not.
this guy that yells at poor people for, like, being poor. It's not apolitical. Because
Yeah, if you think that, you've obviously never dug more than skin deep on Caleb if you think he's right-wing. He has said in his older days that there were a lot of times where he's like, no, actually, he had his, hoe days before he had a nice relationship where he was doing things that were very liberal, progressive, centric, like he's sleeping around, just, hooking up to hook up. Like, exactly. You're not there to spend, every day with this person. You're there to come, have a quick bang, and leave. Like, maybe you spend a little 20, 30 minutes cuddling after, but then you get out. There's a lot of other things, too. Like, he used to spend poorly. He used to have, a little less responsibility for things, but he learned it pretty quick. And he worked his butt off before his YouTube channel to get himself out of debt.
his whole entire platform is based on finding people that are struggling financially and
they
blaming
find
them
him
for their problems.
That's the other one. You say he finds these people and blames them for their problems. No, they volunteer. The only time I would say you could say Caleb was finding people was like, it was at least 3 years ago when he did these things called Audit on the Street. Look them up. Some of those are kind of chaotic, and you would really want to see proof for some of these people and their actual numbers and see if they would sit down and try again. But man, some of those Audit on the Street people, those would just be anybody he'd walk up to. Hey, tell me about your money. Tell me about your shit. How much you make? How much you got in savings? Do you think you're doing well? Do you think you're better than the average? And it was very low, it was a lot quicker content, lower quality, different time thing. The street audits or the street interviews were really popping at that point.
Which in individual cases seems harmless, but consistently showing stories of poor people that are struggling because they refuse to get out of bed does nothing but promote this fallacy that the reason there is poverty in America is because of individual choices.
That's
quite exactly
honestly
true.
One of the most
There's poverty
videos
because
that
of
I have
individual
seen about
choices.
this specific topic
Thank you for
from top to
understanding.
bottom. Like, yes, some people are absolutely impoverished for reasons outside of their control. But most people on Caleb's show are not this. They are not destitute.
Yeah.
They are people who are making horrible, terrible, not smart financial decisions.
Did you set money aside for taxes?
No.
No.
Ever. 19 to 30.
That's this audio.
Okay, how much debt do you have?
This audio is crispier than fucking chicken. Jesus.
I don't know, like 8,000. Good thing about work,
$47,128 of debt. So I don't know what you mean.
my wages were garnishing because I was working.
Yes, fair, good.
And then when I left that job, they had nothing to garnish.
Yeah.
But they still wanted
That's
their
how that
money.
works. That's how that works.
So
I'm gonna pay in taxes.
then they knocked on my door with saying, like, you have to pay this and we're canceling your payment plan because you're not making the payments.
Oh,
But I
that
didn't
makes
answer the door,
sense.
so
They
they
wanted
can't prove-
they came up to you and said, "Hey, you have to pay this amount because you've stopped paying, so you owe this in full." Makes sense?
that I ever got the letter.
But what is most
And no, they can
important
prove you
thing
got it. They
need
went
know
to your
is this is
door.
your fault. This isn't the world. This isn't random diagnoses that you just fall into traps for. This isn't breakups. This isn't fucking. This is all your choice. This is you. The decisions you've done. The bullshit you do. Not wanting to sacrifice and actually get out of it forever and stick to a budget. I mean, again, you write down shit like this instead of.
Oh,
actually just
this
using a
lady
budget.
who thought she was so smart bringing all her paper and her binder of stuff, and then Caleb's like, "Why are you doing this? Just using the app. Just use a budgeting app. It didn't even have to be his."
I'm just gonna let the rest of this specific video play so that you guys can see the absolute brainworms that we are dealing with in our detractors.
Not only does he spread this right-wing line, but he also does so in a way that explicitly appeals to right-wing propagandists. LGBT debt. God, I wonder who's gonna connect those two. So I know that every single episode there is plausible
And?
denial that his goal isn't to blame poor people.
Sir, do you have more brainworms than RFK Jr.? Because I think you have more brainworms than him.
Their problems, or maybe
You
this
should get them
individual
checked out.
could do better. But collectively, and his editorial choice to consistently bring them on, is pushing the political line. If all you are shown of stories of poor people are not people that got screwed over by a system, or people that are really trying their best and just can't make ends meet, but are stories of people that are struggling because of choices they have made or came from privileged backgrounds, which by and large is what Caleb Hammer is showing. And especially if you are given the emotional outlet that he gives to yell at or demean or diminish these people, there is no way that's not reflected in your politics.
You know, Will, that's this guy's name. His name is Will, who I can tell is probably incredibly bland in real life.
I bet you this Will guy, he thought Biden was still competent until the debate. I bet you he still thought it was a competent choice over Trump. I bet you he did.
Accountability is definitely going to feel like oppression to entitled people, which is probably why you perceive being held to any standard like this. And it's why you blame the person giving advice rather than the person who is spending money like an imbecile. Also, I think it's sort of insane to act like the majority of Caleb's audience are conservative, because I think that this kind of a show appeals to multiple different kinds of people. You, of course, have conservatives and right-wingers, but you also have people who are just interested in being more financially literate and are.
And then there's people like me who love it for the A, entertainment, B, the maybe financial stories I haven't heard before, because at this point I have seen every single financial audit except for one, the one from 2 days ago, December 10th. I have that one. It's going to be a reaction on the channel tomorrow morning, by the way, so stay tuned for that.
Are looking for actual financial advice.
But I've seen every
And then you
episode,
have
and
the
there's few things I
people
haven't
like
seen
me
yet.
who get a level of enjoyment and catharsis out of watching stupid people get screamed at.
Look at the
That
comment
too.
section under my video and just tell me, who do you think Caleb Hammer's videos are being directed towards? Genuinely.
Everybody, because his most of the people who these are like, oh yeah, he just completely has liberals on, and then he complains about them. Guess where he found them? Or rather, guess where they found him? From his audience.
Because when I
Like
said that he's
every
bringing on
guest
liberal
now.
women, and all of the comments are attacking me for being a liberal woman,
Well, you didn't have to say that. The nose ring kind of told us.
you can talk all you want about how septum theory is true, but that will never erase the fact that I am 100% right that all of these videos are being sent to right-wing people who are just
Left
going
wing.
to make comments about people's weight, looks, etc.
I mean, Caleb himself makes comments about people's weights. He literally tells people to themselves that they're they're on the larger side, because he's like, so am I. Yeah. And with all that, you get him making different shows about it and talking to different people. And, he's like, all right, so if you're not going to work on your finances or your weight or work on your health, your finances don't matter. Because if you're, going to keep eating and have a heart attack at 35, why are you saving for retirement? He's had that conversation with a few people as well. And, there's some things that he does that I fully disagree with. And where is one? Yeah. Right here, his show, the Thanksgiving episode, Fat and Fatter. It's like, Fat and Fatter is a show that I don't think he should be running, because he's literally like, oh yeah, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to encourage being healthier. And then yet, couple times a month, or more than a couple times a month, he has this show with him and his producer Brandon, who they're just eating obscene amounts of food or eating some food and then just going, oh, now we got to figure out how much all that shit cost. They're trying different things of menus, and it's like, are you really trying to lose weight? Because I know you can with this, but you have to be extremely disciplined in those areas. And Caleb has admitted himself that he struggles with that.
Septum theory strikes again.
One thing that stood out
It
to me
did.
watching people whinge about Caleb Hammer in these videos is that, of course, he's going to appeal to financially normal people or people who want advice. Women like this can't and won't watch him because their politics won't let them.
Yeah, his guests are, I would say, like 70-30 left or progressive leaning versus the 30% that are right. It is majorly left-leaning guests, and it's not like he's going in and directly choosing. That's just what's applying. They take so many applications a week. They get hundreds a week, and they have to pick from a few. Just, most of them are, oh, you're doing too well. Oh, your debt's like two things. You're not going to have a long enough conversation. But then he gets these people who are like, you have a mountain of debt. You have an unimaginable amount of other issues, and they have before every guest comes on, they have like an hour-long phone call with one of the producers at minimum, just to be talking, get other details so that the producers can maybe write things down to feed Caleb notes throughout the show. Because like I said, he goes in blind.
They take issue with his delivery, the way he talks. They perceive accountability as a personal attack. We've actually seen this time and again, and we've talked about it a lot on this channel, but to reiterate, leftists will often take themselves out of countless situations of their own volition and then get mad at the people who are open-minded enough to watch and listen and use that
It's
as a
so
way of
stupid.
justifying why everyone involved and around them is right-wing.
I just went down a rabbit hole looking at this Caleb Hammer guy's content. Is he a right-wing psyop? It seems like he's specifically targeting millennials and Gen Z.
No, he's had people of every group on. It's just that's the majority of his audience because that's the majority of YouTube viewers.
Telling them that it's their fault that they're poor. And, you know, sometimes it is, but also you need to...
I would say the amount of times it's their fault on the show that they're poor, I'm going to be generous here and say it's probably 95% of the time. There might be 5% of guests at most. And that is a massive. I initially was thinking probably like 97%, but I'll be generous and give you an extra 2. That there might be 5% of guests on the show who are actually in some kind of situation where it's like, yeah, that kind of sucks, and it wasn't all your fault. So let's see how we can do to help you dig out.
Acknowledge that the world that we were handed isn't the world that our parents promised us. He's a boomer in a millennial's body. I'm half expecting him to say that everybody's broke because of avocado toast. It's really gross to judge people for taking out student loans when they were 18 years old just because you didn't have to.
He's not saying it's stupid to take out loans, and Caleb did take out loans. He's still paying on him because they're at such a low interest rate. It would be stupid to pay them off early and not have the extra money he would have paid them off with be making more in the market. He is a smart individual. He has responsibility, and when he complains and he bitches at people for, you know, taking out X amounts of dollars at 18 in loans, it's like, okay, yeah, you took out 50 grand for a degree that'll make you 30 a year. Like, you didn't even need the degree to get this job, but that's the one you got. He's just trying to say, he's not saying don't take out debt. He's saying don't take out debt if there's not a good return on the investment, which is taking out the debt.
84-month car loan? Why an 84-month car loan?
I want lower payments.
You know that's not how it works. You are paying more in interest over time. 2024 Kia Sportage. And it is $638.70. That's an insane car payment for 7 years.
Again, the biggest problem here seems to be advocating for any level of personal financial responsibility. When you watch enough of Financial Audit, you realize that so many people who go on this show are completely unwilling to take responsibility and accountability for the actions that they made themselves that landed them in this specific horrible situation. Instead of admitting to their financial faults and failures, they double down and give you every reason under the sun why they're a victim and why they needed to spend $1,000 on pot plants and stamps. But leftists will see.
But I needed to spend $12,000 to go to Disney 8 times this year. What do you mean?
Rather than seeing the situation for what it is, they view these people as poor victims who are just unable to do things for themselves and live life as they want to live it, which is not only wrong, but is incredibly disempowering. At the end of the day, I am sure
and it's
that
disrespectful.
There are some fair criticisms of Caleb Hammer out there, and obviously we aren't going to get into those in this video. This is focused on a very sort of specific criticism being thrown at him, the main criticism being thrown at him. But
that he's right wing? Yeah, he's not.
Mad at him because he wants
he's a
to be more
centrist.
Successful. I think they're mad at him because he's pointing all of this out. I think what Caleb does is highlight that the system isn't really rigged against you when you have the power to control decisions. Like,
if he was truly right-wing, he wouldn't have any guests on that are also right-wing, just so he can make the massive bias look like, oh, all left-wingers have bad finances, all right-wingers have good ones, because I don't have any of them on, none apply. That's literally what he would be like if he were trying to push a narrative. He's not trying to push any narrative. In fact, he pushes on both sides pretty evenly.
What you spend your money on. But that's quite inconvenient for people who need an oppressive hierarchy to exist for their ideas to make sense. If you're in control, well, you're on your own, there's no one to blame, and your failures are truly yours. If the system, on the other hand, is inherently rigged against you, well, your failures are just a reflection of the injustice you face. So
this lady here was another one of those. She was upset with her. She's from Florida, and she was upset with her husband. They quote unquote didn't get along, even though they had like 3 kids together. So she inherited a house from her parents, while her siblings also inherited houses as well. It's like she was from a very wealthy family, and yet she lives like a mile from the beach now and is complaining that, oh yeah, I went and sold my old house that I already had fully paid off to buy this other one that I didn't exactly use the whole thing to buy it. I have a mortgage to pay, and she had so much others just like given to her throughout her life, and she had done everything wrong. And yet she tried to pull that victim mentality so hard. But she's the person who if you go watch her video with how she describes her husband, I 100% think he's a Border Patrol ICE agent. 100%. Just go back and watch it if you have the time, or if you have seen it and you want to go back and listen to her talk about it. It does 100% seem like that dude is an ICE agent.
Quite advantageous to reject these notions of personal responsibility, because then you get to claim victimhood, like many of his critics are so prone to doing. It's probably for this reason that these crazy leftists interpret his come to Jesus meetings as inherently damaging and bad for the people that he's speaking to. When in reality, Caleb is simply asking them to stop making stupid choices. But these people love stupid choices, don't they? In the
Their
end,
lives are one big stupid choice.
More people actually
it's that pro-life, pro-choice thing. So it's my choice not to abort the baby. So as a parent, I didn't abort it. So my whole life was one big bad choice, right? Because the proper one for them is to abort that baby and to have your own life, right? One big death cult.
Became financially literate and got their finances together and understood what they were doing with their money, then I think a lot fewer of them would be so interested in socialism. I'd like to think that they would proceed with systems that would lead to greater wealth and success for them, rather than banging on about initiatives that actually make all of us equally poor. So because I'm not very smart, I forgot to record all of my little outro bits, and I don't feel like turning on my lights again and sitting here and being blasted by the sun. So on that happy and pleasant note, children, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder.
I'll be honest. I like the warmer lighting. It's a much softer tone. It's more of the holiday-esque feel.
Check out Beam using the link in the description. I love them. I love them so much. This is one of my favorite sponsors, and you should absolutely take advantage of the sale that they have going on for today only. Get in there, get yourself some yummy sleep hot chocolate, and I hope it works for you. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Did you know who Caleb Hammer was before this video? Are you a fan of him?
Very much so.
Do you think that he offers very sound financial advice? Are you skeptical?
As I'm recording this now, he's got a new video coming out in about 4 hours from now. And my video you'll be released in 3.
To absolutely despise him. Do you think that that's kind of par for the course, and it's largely because he's exposing that a lot of the poor people that these people seem to gather around aren't actually poor and are really suffering their own choices? Do you think that he's too mean and he's unkind to everybody that comes on his show? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you are not subscribed already and you'd like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. I don't know what my hands are doing. Like I always say, I hope you wonderful little chickadee people stay safe and well and make tremendously good choices.
I'm just turning her down so we can scroll to the nose ring theory is becoming the nose ring law. Caleb, stop spending money you don't have. Leftist. Factionist. Imagine having to tell grown-ass people opinions can change. For real. Imagine explaining that adults work on their birthday to an adult. For fucking real. All of these people like, smash, yeah. Well, you're down there. Maybe you leave a comment on this video sharing what you thought. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you didn't do it earlier, smash that like button and get subscribed. At this point, yo it to me for going this far. Anyways, I'll spoil later. I'm doing this one. Caleb Hammer live, Bonnie Blue arrested by Muslims. Tune in later today to see that one. Should come out about 6 o'clock. Anyways, have a good night, or have a good day. See you later.